Hello, friends. This is Actual Play. We're having a rough technical night. We're getting past the hard parts, but welcome back. Tonight we're playing AState from Handiwork Games. So step inside with us, a Baroque urban nightmare, the world of AState. It uses the acclaim Forged in the Dark game system. We'll watch our troublemakers defend their corner from selfish authorities, angry gangs, and heartless industries. They will also deal with the spiraling consequences of those actions as they struggle for a better tomorrow. All channel proceeds are split between the Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense and Education Fund. So I will go around the block here, our corner, and our troublemakers will introduce themselves and the characters they're playing. How are you, Judd? Let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm well. I like that you have a script. I was listening to our Primal Quest game and lamenting how often I say or and I think you found the solution, which is, even if you just have it down, I bet it helps.
No, it's true. So, it is true. I actually stole it from Rich Rogers because I thought, man, that's cool. We're playing a game. He's hacking a bunch of different games for Star Wars, and he's kind of giving a shout out to those games, and I don't do enough of that.
So. Yeah. Amen. I've been thinking about substituting silence for my ums and uhs and likes. So hearing you smoothly do that was oh, okay, you go, Jay. You got game. I gotta up my shit. There was one. So cool. Yeah, I mean, Rich Rogers he games so much that I don't know how he does it. I worry. He games so much. He's amazing.
I'm with you. I'm like, man, am I slouching? Right? Am I a chump? Right?
Right.
And he's got a day job.
Yeah, and I played a new game last night, but it wouldn't have gone or a couple of days ago or last week, but if professional game consultant Strash wasn't there, it wouldn't have gone nearly as smooth. Yeah. Anyway, when I hear about how many new games he plays in a year and how many games he runs in a week, and it is humbling to say the very least.
I agree. It is.
How am I? I'm doing well. It's nice to be here. It's nice to play. I've been wanting to play in a game that you've been GMing for a very, very long time, and I'm glad we get this chance. So I'm excited to be here. It's cool.
Excellent. How about you, Jeremiah? How have you been?
Been pretty good. I've been carless for a couple of weeks because it's stuck at the dealership, but I'm holding on. I'm hoping the last time I talked to him on Friday, he's going to try to get me a loaner this week. So fingers crossed that happens.
Cool. Nothing serious, or is it serious?
Parts on back order, which could mean anything.
Yeah.
That they're just waiting for a single part to come in. That's how it goes.
That makes sense. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do now is first making sure everything's running like it's supposed to. Cool. Everything looks good. Let's do a player recap. Right. We missed a session and we play every other week. So that's kind of a month out and we're a little rusty. Let's see what you remember. There's no right or wrong, right? That kind of gives us flags about what's sticking out for you. And then we go from there. Does it sound good?
Awesome.
Anyone can jump in first.
I can start it. I know Judd's doing some multitasking. I remember we had an intro scene of some daylight gang members trying to rough up our boy Omar, and we took care of that. Kind of a team effort. I remember I don't remember what her name was, but there was the woman that was there, and I kind of disarmed her over taser, which is going to lead to serious consequences, and then Judd's character, Jandon, managed to talk the rest of them down, and we found out Omar had an actual firearm, which it turns out is that's a pretty big deal. And then so then we went and we took back the unconscious gang members, took them back to like one of the daylight headquarters, and tried to sort of talk things down a little bit.
Right.
And we met I don't remember what her name was, but the lady in a robot type thing that we're not really sure what's going on.
Yes, Muriel,
yeah. So we talked to her and seemed like we mostly smoothed things over, although chances are that girl's brother's gonna be looking for me and be real upset.
Yes. And that was Lainey.
Lainey was the sister. Yeah.
Yes, and her brother 7.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
Anybody with a chip on his shoulder that's called 7 is just, that's got to be bad news.
I like it.
Yeah, and I feel like we established a bunch of cool things. I feel like we established that the guns are a big deal, and and they're dangerous legally and socially, as well as physically. We established that the gang that we're dealing with solves problems via ritual knife fights.
That is correct. Yes.
We're trying to circumvent that a little bit and get away from that. Make sure Rory doesn't have to fight in a ritual knife fight. And then the robot stuff. I think that was really a shock that a local, middle management person, maybe even upper middle, but is in this really intense kind of ancient robot frame. That's not normal. So
I remember Misha's character being like really interested in it and wondering what the heck it was.
Yeah, and it was cool. I thought we established a lot. Like we set a lot of not only tone but just setting stuff.
Right.
So that was nice.
Cool.
Anything else? Any other tidbits that you remember, Jeremiah, that I feel like I missed?
I don't know. I think we covered it.
Cool.
No, I agree. I think that was pretty good.
Awesome.
That's pretty concise. Yes.
Sounds good.
So unless you both have some thoughts or something you want to do, my thought is to return maybe a day later to the corner headquarters.
Okay.
The weather is less rainy. I think folks on the corner are doing the best they can to drain any of the flooding from the past days of rain. In fact, let me pull this map up because we have one.
Looking at it right now. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So
there's Omar right in the middle.
Yes. I kind of use him to kind of designate the warehouse that we're kind of housed in, right?
He's got the keys to the headquarters or whatever, right?
Yes. And so I kind of leave him in place there. But that's kind of a pier, right? It comes, and you can see the water along the water texture along the side. So you're one pier, you've got a pier on either side of you.
Yeah.
They're all in fair repair, but there's a lot of flooding when it rains, like I said. The pier next to you, there are a bunch of workers out in the rain in their rain weather gear, preparing for a cargo ship. That's actually 2 that is coming up the harbor to dock there, right? And so there's a big production. Lots of folks out there, maybe 30 to 40 folks. Like I said, in the pier right next to you, and you can see the cargo ships coming up the harbor. They haven't docked yet, but they're on their way. And there's a bunch of workers out there to receive that ship once it arrives. It's about midday, right? But it's kind of overcast out. The rain is off and on, not constant, but it's always raining. So that's how it is.
It can't rain all the time.
That's right. It can't rain all the time. I think the closer to the core you are, right? Maybe there's more sun there, but it's raining right here.
Sure, yeah. I assume shipments and things through here aren't unusual. Like this isn't out of place or anything.
No, it's not.
Just regular old traffic goings on. Okay, cool. Yeah, I imagine I've certainly been laying a little low because I don't want to run afoul of 7. Maybe his blood will cool off given enough time.
Right.
Smart. Yeah, I would imagine that Jandon has been out in the community doing their thing, mediating between family disputes and keeping things, keeping a lid on things, probably not at a high level, just at like a local level,
Right.
Could be anything from, a pair of brothers who live together, whose families are feuding, to landlord disputes, to who knows what. So I imagine they're just like doing the little things you need to do when the institutions that we think of as institutions just aren't there. So yeah, that's that, and that's their, what is it called? The escape. That's their escape. Is that kind of like service?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I imagine that's what Jonathan's been doing, knowing that also our mission is going to be, it's not the mission is not their escape, but it's going to be like another thing kind of in their wheelhouse, though.
Right.
Who knows? Sometimes it might not be, someone might not need community service. They might need a bunch of people to get together and fix a roof or dig a ditch, and I'm sure they do that too. So, and I think my name on my thing literally still says, I don't remember what my character sheet name is.
It does. So again, folks, we're having, a little bit of a rough start. We're working it out. It's been a little bit.
Oh my Lord.
You should be able to edit that.
I put that so that someone would be like, I'm thinking like, yeah, I won't forget this because it's so in everyone, it's so in everyone's face that here we go. Anyway. So yeah, Jandon is out there doing stuff, and doing their service, which I think is also kind of their religion, kind of a I don't know, some kind of weird cyberpunk humanism.
Hey, Misha!
Yay, she's in the chat. Yay.
She can't be with us tonight, but she's in the chat, so that's fantastic. Yeah,
she's in
we're
our
having
heart.
a rough go.
Definitely.
Without you.
Yeah. So are we doing, is this kind of, last game was kind of free play and this game is kind of, got it.
Gonna go into doing a mission.
Right.
Got it. Yeah.
So yeah, Muriel kind of pushed you toward this brokering mission, right?
And who were we brokering with? That's what I don't remember.
The Red Sabers. So Omar got caught up in the Daylight Gang came after him because they saw him interacting with some of the Red Saber members. The Red Sabers are that enforcement vigilante group on the border, right? And Daylight and the Red Sabers have been going at each other pretty hard, so much so that it impacts some of the contacts of some of the folks that you guys have, right?
Right.
Omar being one of them. at the end of the day, it turns out he was trying to figure out, can I get some of these folks together, have a conversation, let them know how they're impacting the rest of us, and maybe that'll do something. And unfortunately, Laney and some of the gang members from Daylight caught him, and they were going to beat a different perspective into his brain. And you folks interrupted that and stopped that. But then Muriel said, who will broker then? And Jandon picked up the baton.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, part of that was, we will do this, but no knife fights for our friend. Which I realize also, I Jeremiah, if you want your character to get in a knife fight, I will take that off the thing, or I'll act shocked. I'll act shocked when it happens, or whatever.
There's a reason I left Daylight. I don't want any of that knife fight nonsense. That's just not for me.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Just making sure. I just wanted to check in and be like, God, I made this character in a knife fight. What are you doing? Stop.
Why are you knife blocking me?
Why are you protecting me from fun? What's going on? Yeah, cool.
So this mission type is a broker mission. We're hoping to end a dispute through negotiation.
Yeah.
That moves us into kind of the mission planning. What do we know? Can we get some help, some assistance? Everything leads up to what AState calls the crossing point.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've played Blades in the Dark. They call it something different there when you make the engagement roll.
The kind of entry point or something? Yeah.
Yes, the entry point. So the crossing point
like
is,
that.
Yeah, it's the Rubicon. Here's where everything takes place. We make the engagement roll, and then we're in the thing.
Cool.
They call it the crossing point here. So let's talk about what we know. How are we going to engage the Red Sabers? Who are we going to talk to? Do we know who to talk to? I think we got a gap before we get to the crossing point.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm good at finding out information. That's sort of part of what Rory's shtick is. So, like, if we need to do any sort of like information gathering legwork, I would be good at that.
Cool.
I don't know how that fits in with mission planning, because I know part of the idea with Blades in the Dark and stuff is to not have to plan. So
right. What'll happen is
you can still go out there and get some info. It just
right.
We just don't want to. Yeah, I think you can totally do that.
Okay.
Because right now we don't even know who to talk to, right? So we need to at least know that. Otherwise, we can't. Who are we brokering with, right? We need to know who to talk to, how to get a hold of that individual. So that's a blocker right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's even a section here called information needed.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'd because this is a whole new situation, so I think it kind of makes sense that people don't necessarily know who the players are. So I'll do my thing and see what I can figure out, like, who the movers and shakers are in the Red Sabers. Who do we want to talk to, and who might be best to approach? Like, there might be a reason to not approach the top person, but find someone that's maybe going to be actually amenable to talking.
Cool.
Are you going to use any of your contacts for help?
No.
No.
Well, the only contact I have helps me with my escape, and that's not really applicable. I mean, I guess we have we know Nevi on the council. I don't know if she counts as a contact for us individually, or if that's like a corner level thing, but
I believe she's a contact for the Alliance, which is all
us.
three of you.
Yeah, I think probably in that case, I probably would, get her assistance in some way. She could probably help set me on the right path.
Cool. You just have to tell me what action you're going to use to do this. Maybe, and I'm assuming you. Go ahead.
I was going to be fined.
Gotcha. And this is just out talking to contacts, talking to folks, hitting the streets. Is that what this looks like?
Yeah.
Cool.
Getting into places, things like that.
Cool.
All right.
Is it still called like a fortune roll when it's
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, this is still a fortune roll. There's nothing risky here, so yeah, it's about how much. Yeah, it's a fortune roll, how much you gather.
Okay, I'll just there's not really a thing, so I'll just do it as controlled, I guess. Let's see what happens. Hey, almost had a crit. I'll take a 6.
Nice. So there are a couple of folks in the Sabres that have influence that are worth talking to. Martel is at the top. Let me see how I can do this. Because I have a picture of Martel.
Ooh.
He runs multiple corners. Your corner being one of them. So he has the ultimate say. Oh, is it going to pop up for me?
Yeah, I couldn't make it bigger. That's fine.
Oh, it's not going to pop up for me. Oh, that's stinky. I wanted to pop out of there. What does it look like over here? No, so, okay. All right. But that's Martel. He's in the chat.
All right.
He's got some age on him. He's got a lot of replacement parts on him.
Okay.
You got a 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he travels with never alone, usually with an armed entourage.
Sure.
And his schedule is protected. He knows he's kind of the head of the snake, right? So he moves. His movements are classified as quiet. It's confidential. That's hard to pin down, and he likes it that way.
That makes sense.
Got it.
His second in command is Kara, and that's his daughter. She is easier to find. She drinks the same Kool-Aid as Dad. I think she's a little more hands-on, less nuanced than Dad. But she gets results, right? She's mostly fair. She has a bias. But again, like I said, she gets results. She's easier to find than Dad is.
I think in that case, then it probably makes more sense to maybe try to sway her to something reasonable, and she'll have more ability and leverage to convince her dad of anything than we would.
That makes sense.
All right. Do we think we need anything else? I can't think of anything. We know somebody we can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sounds like she's not too hard to track down. So I can't.
No, she's not. She won't be hard to track down. Let me also add this. Things have escalated sharply over the last 3 days. That there are bodies on both sides. Daylight killing off red sabers, red sabers killing off daylight members, right? So they've already spilt blood on both sides. With your 6, you have a accurate street count of those bodies on both sides.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Useful knowledge.
I think total, we're looking at a dozen folks total.
Between both sides?
Right.
Okay.
Over the last 3 days.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's not good for the neighborhood.
Right.
No.
And that may be why some of the regular civilian folks are feeling the squeeze, because they're getting caught in this violence.
Yeah.
All right. So I think then what we're talking about is what your crossing point looks like. I'll read a little bit. Every mission has a crossing point where you finish setting up and getting in position and begin taking the risky moves that really count. Working together, decide your plan's crossing point. This is the moment when a character first steps forward into danger. Right. So we're kind of setting up some fictional details here about how we engage with Kara, right? We're going to talk to her first, right?
I mean, I'm picturing wherever we find her, it's Red Saber territory, like some I don't know, bar, restaurant, club, whatever. Like it's something they own, and it's mostly their people. So I feel like once we show up to that place to talk to her, that's when things get real.
I like it.
Yep.
Do you think you leave your corner to go to this bar, or do you think it's in your area, in your corner, on your corner?
Oh.
So mechanically, if it's outside, right, then we're leaving the corner to go someplace else. But if you say it's on the corner, then I will add a new claim to our corner sheet, right?
Gotcha.
And so that's all. That's why I'm asking. But also, it's good for fiction too. Where is this place?
I don't know. What do you think, Judd?
Yeah, I like the idea of making something new.
Yeah.
Putting something new on the sheet. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's build out. You know, we're early in this process.
All right.
Cool. Build.
Let's do it.
Add details.
I like it. I will have a name for you here. It's called the Arthur Russell. That's the name of the bar.
Okay.
Cool. And is that where we're having all the deliberations, or where we're just tracking down our first contact to kind of start working on this?
That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about the other half of it.
Okay.
Because this isn't just talking to the Red Sabers, it's getting them to and someone from Daylight at the same time. Yeah.
And it's how you want to do it. You've got a lot of latitude there, right?
Sure.
The mission is brokering some type of peace between the two.
Right.
Whether that means you're currying the messages back and forth, or you get everybody at the table. It's however you want to do that.
Yeah.
The end goal is can we get some peace?
Yeah. I like the idea of start. I mean, I feel like the moment where shit is real, right, is when we sit everyone down and they're face to face,
right,
and everybody's handed their weapons to the bouncer of the Arthur Russell. We've rented out the whole place to ourselves,
right,
for the night. Everybody split it up, and they're glaring across the table at each other, and we've got to make peace between these people who have been killing each other.
That tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's like when shit starts. And if we want to have a thing where we talked to the young lady that Rory tracked down, then we can do that as a flashback, maybe.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I like that.
You know, that way it was just not too much planning and doing stuff that the system isn't made to do.
Made to do, right?
So yeah, I think there's that moment where we're all sitting there, and and Rory and I are in between them, and Jandon says, "I understand that there has been bloodshed spilled, and we are not here to. We're not here today to deliberate justice for any of that. That's beyond the scope of this meeting. That will happen as a result of this, we hope. But those are conversations down the road. What we want is a total cessation of the bloodshed and an understanding of each other and where the other is coming from, so that we can start to build something that resembles empathy, even if it's only pretend."
That is beautiful. I like
We're
it.
not asking anyone to feel anything. We're not asking anyone to hug it out.
Right.
We are looking to stop bloodshed.
I like it.
And we'll, from there, we can build other things.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think the Arthur Russell is built into an old train station, right?
Love it.
Where it's kind of above ground, a little bit below ground. And they've just kind of renovated the inside, keeping as much of the architecture as possible, but it's a bar, right?
Yeah.
Decide what your load is. Right? You got light, normal, heavy. This indicates how much stuff you're carrying to this broker, to this negotiation.
Yep.
A heavier load means you have access to more items for this mission. The trade-off is you're going to be slower, clumsier, and obviously loaded up for action.
I'm just going with normal. I'm not trying to be sneaky, not trying to be armed for everything.
Right.
Yeah. I'm normal too.
Okay. And then we're on to the engagement roll.
Yeah.
Is it a round table? Is it a rectangular table? What kind of table are we thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's important, right?
Yeah. I think it is a couple of different tables.
Okay.
Tell me if anyone has a totally different idea, but I imagine the Arthur Ashe was maybe a train engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of these tables are stuff that was ripped out of old train cars.
I like it.
So,
yes.
It's a lot of like makeshift engineering stools that were used by people who were sitting and making sure the coal, that the engines were running, and around little, rectangular tables that were originally in trains and are kind of small for where we are. So I imagine like two different groups of people with us kind of in the middle. So we're at a little rectangular table, and then the two gangs we're trying to broker peace between are at a different one.
Nice. That's perfect.
Cool.
All right. So let's run through and our checklist, and let's do this engagement roll. Are the troublemakers exploiting a vulnerability of the target?
Nah.
No.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that either. So you have one die to start with.
Yep.
Are the targets distracted, surprised, or otherwise not at their best?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Just because they might be so focused on like being paranoid and worried about the other side.
Right.
That they're probably a little preoccupied.
And they're probably not used to this. Like,
right.
one of these
comfort zone.
Yeah, like in the description of one of these gangs, it's like, yeah, they firebomb first and ask questions later.
Very
So,
true.
I mean, how many people have the gumption to sit down and be like, we need to broker peace, and sit down with them? I bet it's not a lot. I bet this isn't a situation that they necessarily even have a playbook for, because their reputation probably gets them around it a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's something that people don't do because it's a cautionary tale, and this is a really bad idea. But
Right.
I'm going to go with that they don't have a lot of familiarity with the mediation process.
I agree. Yeah. I like it. I agree. So you will take +1 die.
Okay.
Cool.
Are the targets prepared for or defended against this kind of approach?
Nah.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is out of the ordinary. They don't have a playbook for this.
Cool.
Are any friends or contacts providing aid or insight for this mission?
I mean, depending on how much how well Nevi was able to point us at people to talk to, then maybe, if we can just.
Yeah.
And I think she did. So I think that's a +1 die. Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Are we at +3? Because the last one was a +1 too.
Yes.
We're at 3 now.
You're at 3 now.
Great. Yeah. I love it.
Are any enemies or rivals interfering with the mission? And that is yes. Yes.
Yeah, everybody's not happy with anybody. So
and I bet there are people who we haven't encountered yet, who Jay has prepped, who don't want peace, right?
No comment.
I think our neighborhood is an experiment that a lot of people don't want to succeed.
Right.
So there's that.
Is the target a higher tier than the troublemakers? And they are.
So we're down to 1 die. Okay, cool. Well, at least we offset all those negatives.
But we've got some stuff established, right?
Yeah.
We understand some things, right?
We get all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so here's where I'm rusty. I don't know that you can buy more dice for the engagement roll.
No. Definitely.
No, I don't think you can. I think we just do it.
All right. And then there it is.
All right. Do you want to roll that, Judd, since you kind of
Sure. How many did we end up with?
Just 1 total. One die.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. We just get the default 1.
1, is it risky, controlled, or is it just doesn't matter?
It's like a fortune roll. Yeah.
It's just a fortune roll. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to set what the initial
position is.
I know. Okay. I remember that. I was trying to figure out how to set it up in the roller.
I just put mine. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it on risky standard and just roll the damn die.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's 1 die.
There we go. 4's
okay.
Right.
Okay. That could have been worse.
All right. Yeah, no, it could have been worse, right? So yeah, I think everything starts off risky, which is normal, right?
Yeah.
But things are still manageable.
Yes, things are still manageable.
That's what it says.
No one takes out a bomb and says, I don't like this.
Right. So I think the room is rowdy, right? There are a lot of side conversations not being whispered, just out loud, right? The room is loud, right? Everyone's kind of cross-talking, either Red Sabers to Daylight members, maybe just Daylight members to Daylight members. There's a lot of talking going on. It's very chaotic. You also know that there are folks that have side agendas, right? One of the reasons for confiscating all the weapons is we don't know, right, what kind of hostilities are between the members that are here, because we've got 12 dead people across both these groups, right? Does someone want some payback, right? That kind of thing. So we know that that's on the table. That's a thing, right? We're going to do dueling clocks here.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right?
Love it.
6 on each.
All right.
I think I can put them in here.
Yeah, I was wondering if hopefully there's a.
I think there is.
Ooh, fancy schmancy.
I just got to figure out where my browser is so I can get back to the too many windows. Okay, here we go. All right, so I think I just make a clock, right? No? Do I do this? Can I do this? And then can I clone that guy?
You definitely made one at one point.
So yeah, I'm trying to remember how I made it. All right, so this is let me can I clear it?
Oh, there you go. Go to this. Go to the gear. Maybe that'll. There you go. You can at least change the name of it.
Yep.
I don't know how you fill in the slices.
That's what I'm looking for now.
Resources?
Maybe.
No, that didn't help.
All right, let's do this. I know there's a way to do that. Is it in here? Default. That's not it. We're so close. All right, I forget. I will look over the break. We will have to, because I don't want to drag this out. And I thought I had it. All right.
That's fine. We'll trust you to do it manually.
So we'll have one clock for peace.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out what to name this other clock.
War?
Mayhem?
Mayhem?
Mayhem. Yes.
That's better than war. I didn't want to go to all out war.
Yes.
Mayhem.
The other clock is Mayhem.
Great.
And they're both 6 apiece.
Cool.
And we're trying to fill in the Mayhem clock first, right?
Me, the player, maybe. I do enjoy some good mayhem. So I guess so with what's going on, I don't know how formal or informal it is, because we had Jandon's little speech, but like you said, there's other people in this room, so I don't know if it's a matter of sort of orating or going around and talking to people one-on-one. I don't know what our approach is, I guess I should say.
And I think that's entirely up to you, right?
Sure.
You've got actions.
Yeah.
You've got the situation before you. I used to, in my early Blades in the Dark days, I would tell you, and that's not what I'm supposed to do. And I've gotten better at not helping you there.
Right. What would you tell us in the old days? Not asking but what?
So I think the deal is, if it's me, I'm trying to get the leaders to control their individual groups, so we can have a constructive conversation, right? And maybe figure out how do we get a ceasefire, right? Can we get a ceasefire? Right. Can we start with that? And then if we can get a ceasefire, can we then figure out how do we talk through and resolve everything else? And then maybe after that, right? What is it called? Paying for all the damages, right? Who's responsible for? Yes, reparations. There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Who's responsible for what?
Sure. I've got an immediate idea for a flashback already.
Do it. Spend some stress. Do it.
Yeah. So the idea I had was kind of building off the gathering information I did, and having approached Kara. And then the other thing I was thinking about is we know there's been deaths on both sides. So my thought is that we would specifically invite people that haven't directly lost anybody. So like, yeah, both sides have lost, but we're not like, this squad of people over here, they haven't personally lost anyone. So they're cool to be here, and try to keep out the people that, have lost a brother or a sister or a loved one, because they're going to be a lot more emotional and harder to talk into peace.
Right.
So kind of, I guess it really kind of comes around to strategically building the guest list.
Yes. No, exactly. That is true.
Yeah.
I think that's one stress.
Okay. Do I need to make a roll, or is that just good? I'm good either way. I know sometimes.
I think it's one stress to get that guest list. My assumption was you also wanted to make the roll to start filling in the peace clock.
Yes.
Right? Because if you've got a guest list that's amenable to peace, right?
Yeah.
I think that's useful, right? I think that moves the clock.
Yeah. Well, in that, oh gosh, I don't even know what.
Charm?
Oh, maybe fit in and make a good impression. I was sort of thinking like find again, because it talks about finding things that are lost or hidden, because the idea I'm thinking is like finding out the specifics of like, yeah, we know the numbers of who died, but who specifically, and then that tells me specifically who to avoid.
Awesome.
Right.
And it talks about following a trail of clues and
I dig it.
looking for rumors. So yeah, I'm gonna go with find.
All right.
I dig it.
I think that's risky standard.
Okay, risky standard for a flashback.
Or is it like using the flashback, right? It's like,
well, yeah, as part of the flashback.
Yeah, it's like the flashback puts the crowbar in your hand, and now you're using the crowbar, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
This crowbar happens to be a person. So got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just roll it. We'll see what happens. Nice. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is nice.
That's gotta be worth. That's gotta be worth at least 2 slices of pie, right?
I think I'm checking. I think that gets you 2.
Okay, I'll take it.
Because I think if it's controlled, you end up with 3, right?
Yeah.
Or if it was not controlled, but if the effect was higher.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Standard effect would be 2. Okay, cool.
It's 2. Yes.
Sweet. So that hopefully, maybe things aren't as tense as they could be.
Right.
In the room.
Yeah. Right. Or is there like can we make it so that it's something that you do right now? Like, is there something that Rory does? It can be super subtle, right? It could be like you look over at your person and give a nod and things quiet down, or what?
I mean, I was really thinking about it all just in as part of the flashback, having laid the groundwork for this meeting. So we're kind of off to a good start, basically. Just by having people here that are more amenable to peace.
Right. So maybe that chatter does die down when Kara sees you're ready to say something, right? The mediators, the alliance are ready to start this thing, and maybe she quiets her group down.
Yeah, right? Maybe that's when Jandon makes that great speech that you gave a few minutes ago, because that was good. It was good stuff.
That was good. Yeah, that was good stuff. So at least the Red Sabers have no one to argue with. The Daylight group has no one to argue with because the Red Sabers have quieted themselves down.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, and I think I step into that quiet and say, what the hell do I say? In order for this to happen, you have to be able to imagine a world that is peaceful. What does that look like to you? And I think I turn. So there are the sabers and the
In daylight.
And daylight.
Yeah, and daylight is definitely the more violent, right?
Yes. Yes,
So
they
I
are.
think I turn to the head of day, like the ranking person of daylight, and I say, what does peace and a cessation of this violence look like to you? And I just want to hear them imagine it, right? I just, yeah.
Panther stands up, and when he does, he's at least 7 feet of augmentations, right? When he stands up, right? This is an individual built for violence, right? It says it in the way he stands up from the table.
Yeah.
But he stands up just to talk, right? But I think he's also trying to be intimidating, right? Look at all my stuff, how many different ways I can kill people, right? And he says, pieces. Our tribute comes from this corner and other corners, and it just arrives, right? We don't have to fight for it, right? We get what we deserve, and it comes to us. And then we provide defense and protection from other corners who have not come to this way of seeing peace. That's how I imagine it.
That's interesting, Panther. Can you tell me what you think your vision of peace might look like to the other side?
And I think you catch him off guard, right? He looks confused,
good.
Right?
Can I make a persuasion roll to see if I can get him there?
Yes. He doesn't know what to do with that, right? You're asking him to be someone he's not.
Yeah, and if someone is watching who's actually a mediator, I am sorry. I am just doing my best to be a cyberpunk fantasy mediator. I am making shit up. Yeah. Cool. I think. I've got 2 in persuade. Nice. And I think I'll push for a third. Is that something I can do? Take a stress or take 2 stress?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. I think it's 1 stress.
It's not listed on the character sheet like it used to be.
It's on mine. Or
is it?
Yeah. Stress. Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't say how many. No.
Yeah, I think it's 1. Oh, here we go. Here, look, pushing yourself.
Yep, I just got there.
2 stress to push.
Okay.
Cool. So I will definitely. Yeah, I'll stress myself for 2.
There you go. And then there's grief. We should probably talk about grief. Grief is the devil's
advocate.
Yeah.
Devil's bargain.
Yeah.
Cool.
Getting grief. You can always want a little more in the city, but you'll get some grief for your trouble. Whenever a character is at the bonus dice step of taking action, the GM or any other player can suggest some grief. If the active player accepts the grief, they also take a bonus die for the action roll. The grief occurs even if the bonus die doesn't help you out. Some common examples of grief: collateral damage, unintended harm, losing an item, frayed trust with another troublemaker, betraying a friend or a loved one, ticking a troublesome clock, getting no credit for your efforts, suffering harm. Not too much different than what we've laid out for Devil's Bargains in the past.
Yeah. Awesome.
But I think as it is, you're sitting on 3 dice, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel our position has changed. I think it's still risky right now here.
Yep.
But I think your effect is standard. Yeah.
Cool. Any grief you want to offer me for a die? And did it say specifically that the GM has to offer the grief, or did it say anyone can?
Anyone
can. Idea. Oh, cool. Yeah. So if Jeremiah has an idea for some grief, throw it out there. I have found it before Trophy and Trophy Gold. I thought Devil's Bargains were very GM centered.
Right.
And I have found it's really cool to have it be something that everybody can kind of throw in on a roll that like I really like that. So
I agree.
anyway,
Yeah. I agree.
So anyway, if anyone has an idea for a grief, some grief that could give me a die, I would love to hear it. And
the only thing I can think of is based on my perception of Panther and the way this line of like dialogue and questioning went.
Right.
I can fully imagine that however the die roll goals, he's probably going to feel like you made a fool of him in some way that he
That's
doesn't
exactly where I'm
now.
at.
Like,
oh shit.
kind of a thing. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of.
I'm right there with you. He feels embarrassed.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, neat.
No matter how this turns out, you embarrassed him. Right.
Cool. I will take that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go another route too. I'm gonna put my position to controlled and my effect, or my effect to great and my position to desperate.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
desperate.
Yes.
And I think it's because I have just, you know, I've
You're making the big muscle guy think and talk about his feelings, and that's...
yeah, I'm making this street warrior, 7 foot of killer, talk about his feelings in public. This is not exactly what he's built for, and it might go really poorly. But I've got 4 dice. I know how badly that can go. I've played enough. I've definitely played enough Blades in the Dark that I know how these dice are. I know how they do. But let's give it a shot. Here we go.
Woo!
That 5 saved you.
It sure did.
1, 1, 2, 5. You monsters here.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, you get some XP.
Yeah, you get the XP, right, for the desperate.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. Absolutely.
4-5 is a major consequence plus reward.
Yeah.
And
what's the consequence? I'm what's the consequence, Jay? I mean, that's the
right. I think I think he jumps the table, right? One arm jumps the table to come to you, right?
Yeah.
And he's got his hands up. He's going for your neck, your throat, right?
Yeah.
Because he is embarrassed. And he feels like he can do this.
Yep. Yeah, but I did nudge the clock.
Right, you've got a great reward, right?
Yeah.
We got greater effect, so probably 3?
Yes, it is 3.
Well, hey, we're close.
Or is it just 2 because it was no, it was 3. Okay.
Yeah, you did greater
I'll
effect.
take 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have 5 ticked in on the piece box.
Yeah.
I think he is straight up Darth Vadering my ass, and I relax and I know that as relax as much as I can. I think at first I put my hand up to like pry his thumb off my throat. And then I realized that this is not a fight, and actually doing that is going to make things worse.
Right.
And so I like slowly let go and just say, you're safe, or a croak, right? You're safe.
Right.
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. Say it.
I think he lifts you up, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "Do you know who I am? You know what I do? You don't talk to me like that."
If it looks like he's not gonna let up, I'm gonna make a move.
I think I put my hand out. like no,
Right.
please
Okay.
no, Rory,
Yeah.
please no.
Okay, because you can see me kind of circling around like I'm gonna be up.
And I don't, and I don't think I have, I don't know if he's oxygen choking me or blood choking me, but there's not much time left.
Right. No, there isn't.
Either way.
Right.
And I say, we all know who you are. We all know that saying something like that is new. So just do your best.
I think he nods and he chokes you out.
Yeah.
And then just drops you. Like
yeah.
That. Yeah.
Cool.
Now
I did succeed. So what is like the room's reaction, right? Like,
right. I was gonna say, you can say no and resist. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
No, I like the idea of the person who's the mediator being choked unconscious and Rory being left there, right on the cusp of victory, right? On the cusp.
Right.
But
I think yeah, it's awkward. It's weird, right? He's not getting any support from the other Daylight members, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not getting any condemnation, right? But they're watching, right, to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Right? I think he looks around and he's trying to figure out, okay, what's this? What's the new status quo here?
Yeah.
What's right? Am I good? And he doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
The Sabres, Kara, I think she has her people under control, right? I think your flashback established that, right? I think they get antsy. I think she gets them back under control. Everybody's looking at Rory. Because right. Because
my thought right now is that the Red Sabres are probably on board. Like they've seen a stark demonstration of what mayhem will look like, and they're like, yeah, we can promise peace, but I'm trying to think of what that one last thing I can do to sort of push Daylight over the top, and I don't know if it's smarter to further try to convince Panther or go for the crowd. Either way, Rory's definitely out of his element. Because how do you bring these violent guys and show them there's a better like? What's really funny is the idea of a thing I want to say is talking about how we all have lost somebody, but I'm like, crap, not in this crowd.
Yeah.
I made sure of that. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put my back to Panther and address the rest of Daylight, and probably talking over my shoulder towards the Red Sabres a bit, but basically saying like, this is all about, like Panther was saying, tribute and protection costs. So it's if it's all about money, then nothing's more expensive than waging a war on some rival gang. So if you can come to an agreement of where you operate, that's better for all sides. You got more money for your people. You got more money for your holdings, and you're not having to spend it on street docks and funeral services and paying all the widows and widowers from people that are losing their life. So it's a win-win. If you're not killing each other, that's more money in your pockets. Less blood on the streets, less likelihood that, I forget what the cops were called. Less likelihood
Provost?
that the what?
The provost?
The ones that left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Third Canal Authority.
Yeah. Less likelihood that the Third Canal Authority is going to come back and indiscriminately bash heads. I don't think anybody wants that.
Nice.
Right? And then I'm kind of like looking at everybody.
Celine from Daylight, she doesn't stand up, but she says, I agree, but I don't know if it's physical space. I think what we're more concerned about is operational space. Who controls what? Yeah.
Those details can be worked out. This is just about agreeing to a ceasefire. Take this one step at a time. We get everybody to take a step back, and then we'll figure out who gets what, who operates where. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you say that, I think all of the Sabres body language, they seem to be in agreement with the ceasefire, right?
Yeah.
Most of Daylight, everyone except Panther,
Yep.
they seem to be okay with that too, right?
Yeah.
He seems agitated right now.
Yeah. That's fine.
But he doesn't say anything, right? And in his body language, right?
Yep.
He's agitated. He doesn't like that.
Okay. So I'm going with persuade.
I like it.
Okay. So risky standard, I imagine.
It is risky standard because he's intimidating, but he's not everybody.
I'm gonna, because I'm a daredevil, and I get bonuses if I do desperate actions.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I keeping my back to him, but I'm also like actively ignoring him. Like I'm not like directing my words to him in any way, and knowing how that type of person might just provoke him. But like I've just like he's shown his colors, and so I'm ignoring that completely, knowing at any minute he might just go for my throat like he did with poor Jandon over there.
I'm sorry, Jen. I thought you were going to say no. I resist that.
No. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
So I get +1 die for going desperate, which puts me at 2.
Okay.
The likely, I'm open to grief, but I might also just push myself instead. If you got any grief ideas.
I think one grief idea as possible is that you ignoring Panther just really sets him off in a very dangerous way. And Jay starts a private clock in which, when that clock goes off, Panther comes for our group, right?
Oh,
or just loses control completely.
Not even with Daylight, like maybe even just like off
totally
the
separate.
Like this is Panther. Yeah, just
because now we've had 2 of us that have sort of, you know what?
Yes.
I think that's great. Let's start building him up as a recurring.
I like that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right, so the clock is Rogue Panther.
Rogue Panther. Okay.
Oh shit!
Yes, I like
no.
it. Rogue Panther running through the streets. All right. Well, here we go.
I want to do this. What is this?
I'll take partial success. I
Uh,
got a 5.
All right.
Another
There it
big
is.
consequence, like Goodhead.
Oh yeah. Oh. Oh, I'm being silly. Yes, there is a major consequence.
Uh-oh.
It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me. It's okay. It's all coming back.
Yeah. Takes time. This is a thing.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most interesting things about Forge of the Dark Systems is how there are so many choices of different ways to do things. Right. Like, not only can me, Jay, and Jeremiah go in 3 separate directions and run our games in 3 separate ways. Like in some games, this is a downtime action, and in some games, this is free play, and in some games, it's a mission. And like, but also you have so many choices when you get when there's a failure or a consequence where it's like, do you want to just do damage? Do you want to just do do you start a new clock? Do we mark off an already existing clock? Like what?
Right.
So one consequence could be you just mark off the Rogue Panther clock.
Oh, sure.
Right.
And we get that, we get that 6-part clock with three marks on it or something.
Right. And I thought about that at first, but I had a better idea.
All right.
Yeah, I have a better idea. Yeah, Panther, you can see, like I said, he's agitated. He walks back around the table. He looks down at Jandon on the ground, but he goes back to his seat and he pulls his seat out and he sits down. But he doesn't pull back into the table, so he's kind of out away from everyone else, but seated on that side, right?
Yeah.
Celine says, so it sounds like we have at least a ceasefire agreement.
That's all we wanted for today.
And Kara agrees. And then she says, do we sign something? Is it just verbal?
Why don't you shake hands?
And then she looks apprehensive, and so does Celine, but they get up, right? And then they walk toward the center where you are.
Yeah.
Right? Celine puts her hand out. Kara puts her hand out. And that's when we hear a shot ring out. And we see Kara fall to the ground.
What if I say no to that?
I think you can say no to that.
I'm gonna try to say no to that.
What does that look like? I think it just helps you stress, and I think you got to roll some dice, right?
I am, yeah. So here's the downside to my Daredevil ability that I have is that it's -1 die for resistance rolls for any consequences. But that's fine. I think because everything's tense.
Yes.
And because Panther is still very agitated, I think I'm looking around the room. So I think I would resist it with prowess in the hopes of pushing Kara or whomever out of the way, basically.
Out of the way?
Yeah.
All right, let's see that roll.
So I have 2 in prowess, but I only get to roll 1. And if I remember right, I forget how. Yeah.
I'm looking now because,
I'll take some amount of stress based on that roll. I think it's like 6 minus the roll because I think if I roll a 6.
6 minus the roll. Yep.
I don't take anything. Oh, God, this could be real bad. That's fine.
If you get a critical, you clear a stress.
Well, I can't get a critical because I only got 1. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's the downside of my Daredevil, but that's fine. Oh, I only take 1. So yeah, maybe I see that. Maybe I see the movement, or maybe I hear that distinctive sound of a chamber being loaded or something, and I just depending on what actually I see or hear, like I might be just diving and trying to tackle both of them, probably.
Right. Nice.
Because if I just hear that, I know somebody's about to take a shot, and these are the 2 important people. So I just kind of like shout, down, and kind of try to bring them down to the floor with me.
Gotcha. Nice. It goes down just like that. I think everyone else, because they have no weapons, right? They were confiscated, taken before they came into the Russell Arthur. They all die for the ground.
Oh, okay.
Except for Panther in his seat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, whatever.
He's fine.
Yeah. I think it's you, Celine, and Kara on the ground. Yep. You guys are like face to face.
Yeah.
And they're questioning, do we still have a ceasefire? Are we still good?
I mean, aside from rogue elements, I think it's just up to each side to take care of their own. And I'm probably trying to look around and figure out what the hell just happened.
Yeah. Can I wake up at that point?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I think
you were just
like,
choked out. That was it.
I was coming to, and I heard the gunshot, and I was glad that was suddenly very glad that I was on the ground, and wake up, and I say, there are parties from outside this room who don't want this piece to happen. This piece is dangerous to other people.
Yeah.
And
you can't let them win.
That's what that was about. That was about someone outside of Daylight and outside of the Sabres trying to dictate what the Daylight and the Sabres do. They were trying to push you because they think you're stupid. And now you get to show them if you are or not.
Nice. I think that's where we cut it.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess it up beyond that.
Dramatic exit.
Yes.
Now everybody get the fuck out of here before one of you assholes fucks this up.
I think we have successfully brokered a peace, right?
Yeah.
There's details to be worked out, but I think that means hostilities on both sides will stop. I think both sides will actively try to pull back from those trigger points, right, where they would go, right? So I think you have a peace between on the streets between both groups for now, right?
I will fucking take it.
We have the Rogue Panther clock, so that's a thing.
Yep.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a good offer. I like it.
We've been running about an hour, 20 minutes. How about we take a break? We come back. We jump into downtime because you got some downtime stuff now, right?
Cool.
And we got to do the Fallout or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, it's Fallout and then downtime. You're right.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome.
I will leave us with a nice background screen and a little bit of mood music.
I knew you were going to jump to the music. You loved it so much in the last game. It was so funny.
I did. All right. I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes.
All right.